I'll be at the gravesite of Captain Jason Jones.
Major Thomas Kennedy, or TK.
The story of Major Art Boniface.
Captain James Adamowski, better known to his friends as Jimmy.
The long gray line has never failed us.
The Inspiration to Serve tours is an important event for third-class cadets because it allows them to really reflect on what it means to join the profession of arms. We have 27 graves of Global War on Terror fallen graduates, and many of those grave sites will have speakers speaking about their fallen friend, family member, or just professional colleague. And they'll speak to their character and what inspired the fallen graduate to actually affirm and stay in the Army for their time in service.
The biggest thing about the Inspiration to Serve tour is the concept that those individuals that gave their last full measure were us. They were cadets who walked the same hallways, they attended the same events that we've attended, they had the same group of friends that we had, and so it's a reminder that it doesn't take somebody extraordinary to do something to help somebody else. It just takes that passion and the will and the commitment.
Jason was on his second deployment to overseas contingency tours, and he died in Afghanistan in Jalalabad in a small arms firefight. When cadets see someone like Jason Jones, it's the pinnacle of what it means to serve. Jason was 6th in our class. He was a nuclear engineering major. When you put those two together, that's a pretty compelling human being. And so it gives them kind of a glimpse into something that was very real and very recent. But this also connects them to the long gray line. So it's them seeing who they will become through the eyes of those that have come before them.
One of these days I'm going to be leading soldiers in combat, and so for me to be prepared for that eventual reality, I need to do everything that I can to better myself every single day, because one day I might have to face the family, that brother, son, daughter, wife, husband of someone who dies under my command, and I have to be able to face that person and say, I did everything I can to prepare. So that's why it's important to me to be inspired to serve and be around people who inspire me to get better.
One of the things that is great about talking about Tommy is he understood how to build real relationships and build cohesive teams by really caring about people. And his dedication to service, to our nation, and to the Army are really what inspires me to talk about him and let the next generation of leaders understand what people can be like that graduate from here.
I remember on the day of the Inspiration to Serve event, my TAC officer took me and my company mates to the West Point Cemetery, and he took us around and shared a lot of the stories of our fallen graduates. And in particular, he took us to one of his classmates and to his teammates on the hockey team when he was at West Point. And just to hear the personal anecdotes from my TAC officer about, who he was as a cadet and his combat experiences and ultimately the sacrifice that he made for our country and for our team was profoundly impactful.
Major Art Boniface, who was serving in Korea on the demilitarized zone as a company commander. And in 1976, during the Cold War, he was doing one final mission when several North Koreans came over and attacked and killed Major Boniface and Lieutenant Mark Barrett, who was with him at the time as well. Just helping these cadets understand that even at a time when our nation's not at war, our profession calls us to be in dangerous places, I think will help them reflect on what they're about to do.
Inspiration to Serve is an opportunity to quiet all the noise and truly reflect on what it means to be a part of the long gray line. I think it's so powerful that we spend 4 years here doing everything we can to be prepared to be second lieutenants and future Army officers. And I think that's the first moment that we're able to truly reflect on what that means and to recognize the legacy that we're about to walk in.
It definitely did inspire me. After reflecting about it and thinking about what it really meant that you have to be willing to sacrifice everything for this country, for the people around you. And that's what the people that we saw in the cemetery did.
Jimmy was an Army aviator. He died in Operation Iraqi Freedom in 2003 in command of an assault helicopter company. Jimmy was the first West Point graduate who was killed in Operation Iraqi Freedom. He was somebody who led from the front. He died leading his attack helicopter company. He died in the cockpit. But I also want them to understand that he was so much more in life than just an amazing aviator and an amazing officer. And so what I really hope the cemetery tour does for cadets is gives them that opportunity to see all of the different ways that people served as professionals and that people grew as individuals, and maybe inspires them to think about ways that they can grow and ways that they can become their true selves.
Hearing the stories and seeing the faces of families and loved ones who have lost someone because they made the ultimate sacrifice to this nation and to the great values of the Army reminds you of what it means to be an Army officer and to put this uniform on every day. And recognize why it is so important that you graduate from here as a leader of character, graduate from here willing and able to learn as much as you can from those around you, and ultimately represent yourself and this nation with a sense of dignity, because you are binded to those values of duty, honor, and country.